This video is not intended for anyone 13 or younger. Hello viewers and welcome back to another My Hero Academia read-through. And I know I should have done this on Sunday, and I know I've been doing it on Mondays, but I'm going to hopefully try to get these done on Sunday from now on, but I've been a little busy lately. It might go on for a while, so you just have to wait until then. So let's just dive into the newest chapter. Last time we have the Heroes Society going, the pro heroes and the heroes of UA going to the hospital area where the Mad Doctor's laboratory is at Jakku Hospital, and now Endeavor and Aizawa are near the Mad Doctor, and now they're going to try and arrest him. But I don't think this is not going to be easy for the pro heroes to succeed. There's going to be some obvious complications. So a lot of crazy. So let's just get into the episode. And I know that last week it's been crazy with the controversy last week. But for the sake of the controversy, I will not be doing the Mac Doctor's German voice anymore until the controversy has been dealt with. So in the meantime, I'll probably work with something else. So let's get into chapter 260, and it's been long overdue. Before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It only takes 2 simple clicks. Click, click. Enjoy the episode. And with that, we're going to start with chapter 260, Life's Work, written by Horikoshi, translated by Cable Cook, and lettering by John Hurt. And on the first page, we get a double splash page about for it kind of looks more like basically a comic book of comics with Endeavor at the Jakku Hospital, and for the other half of the page is with Hawks, who's at the Mountain Villa, and we do get a name of what the villa is called that we've been calling the Paranormal Liberation Front. Gunna Mountain Villa. And Gunga Mountain Villa is what it's supposed to be. And yet that's another reference to Star Wars with the prequel Star Wars with the secret village of the Gungans. And yeah, it's a kind of a bit of a good reference there. I gotta admit, Horikoshi does take things in stride with references to Star Wars, and apparently we now know the distance between those two places. It's about 80 kilometers apart, so I don't know what's in mathematical terms, but that sounds like quite a distance, but I'll probably update it with how far it is from other measurements down below. So let's move to page 2, and we continue where we left previously with Endeavor, Aizawa, and President Mike, and most of the heroes, some of the pro heroes and police, finally caught up to the Mad Doctor, and the Mad Doctor is just freaking out of this. Eek! He's stomping people. And we have the Mad Doctor trying to do the logical thing and book it out of there, and screaming how the heroes found him. How? And we see two of the random doctors just coming out of the other way, and they see the doctor and they say, "Doctor?" And we see Aizawa wrapping up one of the Mad Doctor's legs in his bandages and making him trip. And on the third page, we see the Mad Doctor trip over onto the ground. And as the heroes start coming closer to him, and the Mad Doctor's just coughing and wheezing. And we get some panels of Endeavor looking at him, and some weird things are going on, like something flaking coming out of his hand. And we get to Endeavor speaking again, saying, "Looks like the registry was wrong." And we see a good close shot of Aizawa using his quirk canceling ability. And then in the last panel, we see the Mad Doctor's head turning around, and he looks getting a little ugly, having huffing and puffing, just turning around. He's a little uglier. And then moving on to page 4, we have Aizawa Endeavor continues saying, he aged the second you he aged he aged the second you hit him with your eraser. So he does have a quirk. So yeah, it's probably answering a lot of questions. So yeah, the Mad Doctor was lying about his age and his quirk. So it's but we do get a little explanation, and the head investigator continues saying, could that be the same quirk that kept All for One alive this long? And we don't know who's speaking in the next panel, but we do get flashbacks to the Nomus and Nomu and the high-end Nomu. High-end, and someone explains, I think it could be Aizawa or Endeavor. It could be either of those, they could be saying. The Black Nomu especially are all equipped with hyper-regeneration. Similar quirks could always exist, but it's not common by any means. That type we classified as a rare quirk. And the argument continues as the Mad Doctor ages more and more. So it kind of makes sense to have the Mad Doctor have a quirk because he has been working for All for One at least since All for One's first fight, the big fight between All Might and All for One. And that was the first fight they had. That ended up with All Might having the injury that we know today. So the conversation continues while the Mad Doctor continues aging. So it's quirk replication, or maybe artificial quirks. You provide All for One with that technology. And we move on to page 5, and as we see, as the Mad Doctor, we get a side shot of the Mad Doctor, and we see that it's President Mike grabbing onto his shoulder, and he says, starting to say things, and he says, "Wow, neat. You could apply all that to regenerate medical care. Basically, it's like using a cheat code, like using cheat codes." And President Mike just flips the Mad Doctor over, and he says, "Yet," oof, with the Mad Doctor. And then next panel, we see President Mike grabbing the Mad Doctor by the coat, and he's just like really close to him and getting really, really pissed about it. Why use it the way you did? And we get an extreme on the last panel for page 5. We see President Mike getting really, really pissed off, saying, "Why did you do it, you old piece of trash?" And it kind of justified for what happened with him, with President Mike getting pissed. And we did kind of see a little of that in like 2 or 3 chapters ago, with all the stuff with his old friend being Kurogiri this whole time, and the Mad Doctor did technically defile his friend's corpse, and it's kind of justifiable to be pissed at him. And it kind of makes me think that President Mike was just about to kill him, like kill him right there and there. Like he could have used this quirk to blow the guy's head off in rage. But instead, we continue with page 6 with the 2 doctors previously coming down the hall, and they stop President Mike before he could go on his mad fender bender and blow the Mad Doctor's head off. Saying, one of the male doctors saying, "Stop that! Please, don't be so rough with him. What did the good doctor even do?" And we have Endeavor interrupting, saying, "Stand back, people." And one of the heroes and the inspector takes those two doctors away, while those two doctors complain, saying, "What the? This isn't right. We need you out of here." And we have Aizawa just looking at him more, keeping his eye on the Mad Doctor. As we quickly cut away to one of the pussycats, and she's saying, "We're evacuating the entire hospital, and taking all the patients and the doctors out of here." And on the last panel, we see the male pussycat helping out, including a reference to one of the heroes from the Culture Festival arc for Gentle Criminals, one of Gentle Criminals' old friends. Okay, that's nice to bring that arc up again. I wonder what Gentle is doing around this time. Makes you think. And we continue with saying, "In case we need to fight any Nomu." And then we continue on the next page. We see, oh, fudge, the number 5 hero just continuing her rampage through the hospital to get to the morgue. And she continues saying, "Best case, we take this place without spilling a drop of blood. Those Nomu brains are programmed to obey a designed, designated handler. Without orders, they're just mindless, they're just useless lumps. They're just basically mindless." So the bunny hero gets to the morgue, and she does a freaking badass kick as she kicks down the doors like a badass. We know that much from studying the ones we caught so far. And we see the other, back to Endeavor for a bit with the two random doctors saying, the people you tinkered with and tossed aside are all saying. And we have Aizawa finally wrapping up the Mad Doctor in the bandages, and he's not doing anything. Okay, that's weird. So we continue with page 8, and we get a nice good half of Aizawa saying, "This is our payback." And the Horikoshi's artwork still good as ever. Nice. And we have the Mad Doctor finally speaking from all that long poses. "No, please have mercy." And we have Endeavor continue, "Mokuro." I think I think that's the bunny hero. I can't remember. And on the last panel of page 8, we see the Mad Doctor weirdly smiling and basically laughing at this point. "Have mercy." And we see Mokuro continues as she goes down the hallway of the secret door, with Mokuro saying, "Endeavor," and something is coming. And on the last panel of page 9, we see what's coming. An entire army of basic Nomus, like whites and blacks, Nomus coming down the hallway. So, yeah, something fishy is going on, and they're active. So, what the hell's going on? And on page 10, we get basically a double splash page on page 10. This is going to be the crackiest things Horikoshi has ever brought up. And you just have to see it to believe it, that the Mad Doctor gets attacked by not a ordinary Nomu. It's not a high-end Nomu. It's something crack. Something is the most crackiest thing I have ever seen in this manga. And I will have to describe the moment. Like, a giant frickin' ass Nomu whale, while its tongue is attached to the Nidhogg from Devil May Cry 5 with drills coming out of its hands, and one of the drills impaling the Mad Doctor. Yeah, that's kind of the crackiest things I've ever seen in my life. in My Hero Academia, and I would love to. And I don't think Horikoshi could top the crack. And we see on the rest of page 10, we see the Mad Doctor still getting impaled and basically killed. And Aizawa just closes his eyes for a moment and Endeavor's just like, and it looks like he's not impressed with the giant whale Nomu, with the giant whale giant whale Nomu with Nidhogg as its tongue with drills. And on the last panel on page 11, we see the Mad Doctor melting away. And yeah, 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 people were expecting this to happen. This is not the real Mad Doctor, it's just another Twice clone. And he's starting to break down while the Mad Doctor still prattles on, saying, "So organisms replicated by the double quirk aren't nullified by erasure. Good to know." If you knew I had the if you knew I had replication technology, then you should have been more wary. Blop, blop, blop. No, that's expecting too much from you, I suppose. As he starts melting away. And Endeavor realizes this, saying, "Twice his quirk?" And cut back to the last bits of the Mad Doctor clone. He continues saying, "Then again," and with that interrupted, we head into the Mad Doctor's lair. And we're like having the camera like going into the Mad Doctor's laboratory, and he continues the statement that his clone started and saying, "How could they have known that? I How could they have known that? I've let my double handle everything while I've been occupied with Tomura Shigaraki, my masterpiece. And Shigaraki is basically a month away from his metamorphosis, and he's trapped in like a giant cylinder healing tank, and he's just healing as much as he can. And when Shigaraki does get out, and I feel like it may come to that, but mostly later in this storyline. And then the Mad Doctor realizes what's going on the next page, and he starts saying, "Damn them, those meddlesome heroes." And he runs to his chair, hops aboard his chair, and just zooms across on the next panel, saying, "Foof, foof, foof. I didn't want to abandon the hospital." And we see on the next few panels while the Mad Doctor's coming in, there's like cabinets and cabinets full of weird looking chips in jars. Chips in jars, maybe. And the Mad Doctor continues in his inner monologue, saying, "Do they have any idea how much time and equipment it takes to replicate and cultivate a single quirk?" So those are multiple quirks that he's manufactured over the years. Or how much I've labored to amass this stockpile of quirks. It's all crammed in here. My life's work. The blood, sweat, tears, and happy days spent with All for One. All of it. And we have the Mad Doctor continue running, while passing by the high-end Nomus that we've seen before earlier, like a couple of arcs ago. And there's like not more than 8. There's like 12 other. There's like an extra row of tubes of high ends, and most likely they're going to be busted out early. And on page 14 and 15, 14 and 15, it's a bit of a double page text with Mokuro, the the fifth, the number 5 hero, bunny hero, just kicking ass and taking names with the normal Nomas, the whites and blacks, and as she's saying, "What a rush!" and she's kicking all the Nomu's, the lower tier Nomu's down, and she's just damn. And I mean, for the artwork, the nice drawing of the bunny hero, just drawing really, really fine, Horikoshi, of a full body text of her kicking. And I can imagine some of like the fan fan art is going to be made of this on this page for good reasons. I'm not going to go there, and I'm not a furry after all. I'm not into furries, sorry. But with that weird art choice aside, we see the Mad Doctor heading towards Johnny, so he's going to try and teleport away. As the Mad Doctor keeps running and saying, I got a tut, I got a tough call to make. Your walk is over, Johnny. I need you to warp Shigaraki and me out of here. Stat! And on the next 2 pages, Johnny doesn't last very long. As soon as he's like a few meters, Murkuro just crashes in the double-decker doors and destroys an entire shelf of accumulated quirks, and one of the metal steel doors crushes Johnny halfway, and yeah, Johnny is dead with a huge crash and a huge squish, and with multiple quirk jars crashing all over the floor. And on the last panel of the chapter, we see Murkuro seeing the real Mad Doctor, and she says, "Are you the real one?" And the Mad Doctor just freaks out about this, like, "Oh shit, I'm just right back where I started in the beginning of this chapter." And the next chapter will come on February 16th. And that's an exciting chapter. So we're getting a little development. So basically, the Mad Doctor just went full circle in this chapter, having to escape, and then now he's caught into another dilemma with Murkuro crashing the party, and Johnny is basically dead. So unless he's got like another teleporter nearby, then he's kind of boned. But he can still get away and try to escape because, but don't forget, he still has the high-end Nomus in the jars, or Shigaraki in the jar still. And I can imagine that the Mad Doctor is going to get very drastic because of this, and he's just going to say, screw this, I'm going to summon all the high-end Nomus to crush her right now and book it. Either that, or just say, screw it, Shigaraki, I need your goddamn help right now. And kick her ass. So yeah, this is gonna be nuts, and I can't say I just had a thought throughout the week saying Horikoshi does have a chance to make a good, interesting plot development. Like, would it be kind of crazy if like one of the 1A students gets close to the Mad Doctor, and then the Mad Doctor is going to try and make them to do the wrong thing, like saying, "Oh, you shouldn't trust Midoriya because he's a liar," or something like that, like try to use truth, saying, "Oh, Midoriya doesn't have a quirk and he's lying to you this entire time," and try to get that person to do the wrong thing and let the Mad Doctor escape. And while thinking about it, that could cause a lot of trouble. The Mad Doctor does know about Midoriya having all for one for all for one, all for one, and he does know because Midoriya was his what the Mad Doctor was Midoriya's doctor as a kid, so he still has that blackmail materials. So he could use that against one of the heroes, or maybe one of the students, if one of the students is near the Mad Doctor, if he had to cash in that blackmail, then he would. So yeah, that would be a very good plot development, and because with the other powers of One for All and the one we already know about Float from All Might's master being Float, And I don't think Midoriya would be able to lie about that and try to say, oh, maybe my lightning can do that. And that's not gonna work anymore. I can see that maybe one of the students will find out if they get near the Mad Doctor. I'm just saying, that's all. So this has been a fun chapter. I can't wait for February 14th, and I will try to get I'll try to get this chapter done on time when it's fully translated. And probably people are probably thinking, why don't you just do the Fridays? Because I rather have the Fizz translation, because the Fizz translation does lighten the chapter, and you could miss like small little details, like plot details that could be skipped from the earlier translations, and it's kind of bit English, if you know what I mean. Like, sounds English, but it's not structured properly. You get my meaning? So yeah, I'm sorry about the delay, and I hope to try to get this on either Sundays and or Mondays from now on. So it'll be that for a while, and maybe after the end of March, I will things will should get into a much better order by then. And that's it. That's the reaction for this week. So I hope to see you all then next week. So until then, have a good day, everybody. Okay, yeah, one more thing. I'm going to see the new My Hero Academia movie on February 26th, baby. Yeah, I got my ticket early. So I can't wait for the movie to come out. So don't spoil it for me. So until then, bye.